Forget the Avengers for a second. Above the heroes, above the gods, even above Thanos with a full gauntlet, there's a whole ladder of beings who literally embody the fabric of reality. Today, we're climbing that entire ladder, from the reality warping monsters all the way up to the being that sits at the very top of everything. Let's start at the throne itself. This is the top. The one above all is Marvel's supreme being, essentially God of the entire multiverse, and the only entity that outranks literally everyone else on this list. It rarely acts directly, sometimes appearing as a kind stranger or even as Jack Kirby himself, and its only real rule seems to be love and compassion. Nobody argues with it because there's nothing above it to appeal to. Directly below the one above all sits its enforcer, the Living Tribunal. It's got three faces: equity, vengeance, and necessity. And its whole job is keeping the balance of power across all realities in check. When the tribunal shows up, entire universes can be marked for erasure to protect the greater multiverse. It's judge, jury, and cosmic executioner all in one. Eternity is the living embodiment of all time and space in the universe. Quite literally, the personification of everything that exists. When you see that starry, galaxy-filled silhouette of a figure, that's eternity, and every living being is technically a tiny part of it. It's one half of a fundamental pair, the ultimate expression of existence itself. Infinity is eternity's counterpart, embodying the endless expanse of space where eternity represents time. The two are deeply connected, sometimes treated as aspects of the same whole. She usually appears feminine to balance eternity's masculine form, and together they make up the full scope of reality's boundaries. Death is one of the oldest abstract entities in Marvel, embodying the very concept of mortality and endings. This is the being Thanos famously fell in love with and tried to impress by wiping out half of all life. A very one-sided romance. Death often appears as a cloaked skeletal figure or a beautiful woman, and even the universe's most powerful beings must eventually answer to her. Oblivion is Death's darker sibling, the embodiment of nothingness, the void, the total absence of existence. Where death represents the end of a single life, Oblivion represents non-existence on a cosmic scale. It's cold, distant, and honestly kind of nihilistic, sometimes scheming to unmake reality entirely. Now we drop down to a being who still eats planets for breakfast. Galactus was once a mortal named Galen, the sole survivor of the universe that existed before ours, reborn as a cosmic force of nature. He's not evil, he's necessary, a balancing force who devours worlds to sustain himself. He sends heralds like the Silver Surfer to find his next meal, and even the abstract entities tolerate him because the universe needs him. The Celestials are those massive armored space gods you saw hinted at in the MCU. Towering beings who experiment on entire species and judge whether worlds get to live or die. They created the Eternals and the Deviants, and they've been shaping evolution across the cosmos for billions of years. When one of them shows up to judge your planet, you basically just hope you pass. The Phoenix Force is the embodiment of all life and creation in the universe, a cosmic firebird of infinite power that's obsessed with rebirth and renewal. It's most famous for bonding with Jean Grey and becoming the Dark Phoenix capable of consuming entire stars. It's neither good nor evil, just raw, untamed force that needs a host to channel it. The Beyonder came from a realm outside our multiverse entirely, and originally, he was near omnipotent, the sole being of an entire universe of pure energy. He kicked off secret wars because he was basically a curious child playing with human toys, snatching up heroes and villains to watch them fight. His power level has been rewritten many times, but at his peak, he could reshape reality on a whim. These two are a matched set, the embodiments of order and chaos, the fundamental forces that keep reality from either freezing solid or dissolving into randomness. They often work together despite being opposites, and they've employed cosmic agents to nudge the universe toward balance. Think of them as the yin and yang running underneath everything. The in-betweener is the literal offspring of Master Order and Lord Chaos, a being of pure duality. Half of him represents one extreme, half the other. He embodies all the transitional states of existence: life and death, good and evil, reality and illusion. He's genuinely unpredictable because his very nature is contradiction, which makes him dangerous even to other abstracts. The Stranger is one of Marvel's great mysteries, an incredibly powerful wanderer whose true origins even the cosmic beings aren't sure of. He collects specimens from across the universe, studying life like a curious scientist, and his power fluctuates wildly depending on the story. Some think he's a fragment of a greater entity, but nobody knows for certain, which is exactly how he likes it. The Watchers are an ancient race sworn to observe the universe without ever interfering, a vow they take incredibly seriously after a past mistake caused catastrophe. Uatu is the most famous, assigned to watch over Earth, and he's broken his oath more than once when the stakes were high enough. His voice narrated countless what-if scenarios, making him the ultimate cosmic observer. The Cosmic Cube is a reality-altering device, but here's the twist. If it absorbs enough energy, it can actually become a living sentient being called Kubik. Wield one, and you can reshape reality to your desires, which is why villains like the Red Skull have killed to get their hands on it. A fully evolved cube is basically a newborn god learning what to do with unlimited power. Rounding us out are the sentient worlds. Living planets like Ego, who you met in the MCU as Star-Lord's father. Ego is a celestial tier being in the comics whose entire body is a planet with a consciousness, capable of growing limbs and a face out of its own landmass. Whole civilizations can live and die on beings like this without ever realizing the ground itself is alive and watching. So which of these cosmic giants is your favorite? The terrifying Living Tribunal or the endlessly petty Beyonder? Drop it in the comments, and if you made it this far, smash that like button and subscribe for more Marvel